Hi everyone, my name is Casey. Welcome to the Beauty and Brains podcast, where we are here to share all things beauty, life, finance, fashion, love, confidence, and more. So I created this podcast to talk and to have conversation about what it feels like to be your best self. I've had this slogan, be your best self, for a few years now, and it's something that I've taken with me in my fitness clients' journeys, in my own personal journey of self-growth and love, and I want to share it to the world. I created this podcast because I knew there wasn't a lot of people that look like me that could relate to me, and there probably still aren't. So if you are aspiring to be your best self, your most feminine and kind, loving self, then stay tuned. So I realize you all don't really know me, and I want to share a little bit about my journey to self-love. This is the Beauty and Brains podcast, so I'm here to talk about what got me here. I want to take a deep breath first because it's been a long time coming, and I'm a person of faith. So if you are also someone of faith, I'm sure you understand that everything you go through has a lesson, and there are reasons why things happen. I truly believe that we are here on this earth to do good, to help others, and to share our life. Maybe not with someone, but with people that really align to you and help you become who you need to be, so other people can be inspired by you. Wow. Okay. So when I was in, I still need to take a deep breath. I guess let's start in high school. So in high school, I just lost my grandma a few years back, and I felt like I didn't know who I was. My grandma is Filipino, we are a Filipino family, and I felt like I lost part of me. So I started to get into different things, that high schoolers do, like drinking and occasional boyfriends, but I was a virgin. That's where my self-love was not there, when I decided to try to fill the void of the love or lack of love I receive personally from family. I used my experiences with guys to fill that love. I know that probably makes sense to a lot of you. So then I was like, YouTube just came out. I'm not a young buck, okay? I like to say that. YouTube just came out, and I was like, this is great. I'm watching these tutorials. I'm like, wow, I want to be like that. So every time I learned a makeup video, I wanted to produce the same kind. I was so inspired that I became monetized at 16. And I was like, what is that? What is Google AdSense? I don't know. I don't care. I'm just in high school. So I decided to just ignore all the mail I got from Google. And I ignored all the money that I received from Google AdSense. And I was only 16. That was about 15 years ago. So that was when YouTube just came out. I was getting thousands and thousands of views. I was creating product reviews, but I was just a innocent 16-year-old that lacked the courage to speak up and really explain things in a better way. So My videos could have been better, but I lacked that confidence at that time. So I'm gonna give myself grace. Okay, so after 16, I was a pageant girl. I was in the Miss Teenage Philippines pageant here in Washington, D.C. I don't believe I placed, but that was my first time thinking about beauty in a different way, which kind of leads to bodybuilding, I'm sure. But I saw myself as someone that could present themselves in a beautiful way, elegantly, and that was probably my first real step to who I am now. Weirdly. It was just an idea, like, oh, there's this pageant you can do. I'm like, oh, maybe I could join it. So that was my first step. All right, so after I did those pageants and I was monetized on YouTube, I was like, I need to go to college. So I decided to go to college. Before I went to college, like probably 2 weeks before, I was a makeup artist. I was only 17, but that was my passion. I loved makeup so much so that I was doing makeup on others, I was practicing my craft on myself, and I loved it. So 2 weeks before school started, I get a call from a friend who is now a very successful businesswoman. She's like, can you do makeup for my event? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I had a full brush kit, and that's all I brought with me. I had my little brush belt and everything, and I felt so proud. I was a type and still a type to do my hair. I had hair extensions. I didn't have any in right now. I don't put any right now. So I had hair extensions in my hair, and I looked so cute, and I was doing makeup on like 30 people that day, and it was just so fun. Eyeshadow, bronzer, that's really all we were doing, lip gloss, but it was just great. So that was amazing. My toes are curling because it was so fun. Okay, so once college hit, I was in this grind mode where I was like, I'm gonna be a teacher. So that is my career. I am licensed as an elementary school teacher and physical education. So college hit, I lost my passion for YouTube because I was so busy trying to pass my certification exams before graduation. I was very focused. When I really enjoy something, I put my all into it. I am like a lion on the prowl. That's like really who I am. I'm a Leo, so that makes sense, right? So yeah, I was really into it, and I became a teacher. My first year teaching was the most stressful year of my life. I was 21, just turning 22, fully licensed elementary school teacher in a big city where a lot of the students were struggling, but I was struggling too. So we were all struggling together. And I'll never forget when I went to the doctor one day because after school I was just feeling so crappy. I went in and they checked my blood pressure and they said, you're gonna be diabetic. And I'm like, what? Hold up, not me. I'm vegetarian. Let's rewind. I became vegetarian at 12 after learning on PETA.com how animals were treated. So I was vegetarian from 12 to about 26 years old. And from when I was 21, 22, and I had that blood pressure check, I learned, okay, vegetarianism might not always be healthy. I was that teacher that was eating pizza and Chipotle every day, Taco Bell, all the bad things, all the processed food, fast food that you could get. That's what I was eating because in my mind it was faster to get fast food than to go cook a meal prep. But when I was meal prepping, it was very healthy. So now that I think hindsight, it wasn't a bad choice. So I was unhealthy and I was vegetarian because I wanted to reverse or stop diabetes. For me, I knew that since it was in my family that I might get it. So I said, nope, not me. And here I am at 22 years old, pre-diabetic and hypertensive with a blood pressure of 146/80. I was only 22. So I told myself, that's very unhealthy, Casey. You need to change your life. So then I discovered the gym. I said, okay, if I'm gonna change my diet, I'm gonna change my lifestyle. I'm gonna change the way I eat. I'm gonna start exercising because I don't feel strong. I'm tired when I go up 10 steps in my school, so I need to change. A lot of people ask me, Casey, what was your journey like? And I start off by saying I was hypertensive and pre-diabetic. But then I also said that I was very weak, and I was very weak. So that's why I started lifting. I moved out one day to my new apartment all by myself, and I said, okay, Casey, let's go get some groceries because you don't have any groceries. I went to Whole Foods because I was on my Whole Foods kick at that time. I had 2 bags, double bag Whole Foods bags. Simple. Almond milk, vegan meat, some rice, normal things. I couldn't carry my groceries from my car into my first floor apartment, which is sickening to think. Now, I'm not saying that every woman should be able to haul all their groceries, but if you're a woman and you can't haul your own groceries, that's a problem. And you should change that. I think everyone should be able to do for themselves. I don't feel bad for people that cannot, because there are people who prioritize and then there are people who don't. That's just me. Okay, so I started working out. I was like, how do you change your body on Google? I was like, how do you look better and get stronger? And I discovered that there's something called weightlifting, hoo-hoo. So I decided to go on bodybuilding.com, and I was like everyone else looking at different exercises. And back then there was bodybuilding.com app. And I used Layne Norton's I used someone's program. It was this IFBB Pro, and she was like, these are my workouts, this is my split. So I just did their workouts and split. I did that for a solid year. And at that time I had a boyfriend who was like, why are you going to the gym? Like, who are you meeting at the gym? Just really a jealous person. And now that I think about it, I'm glad that I went through that, because I understand now the red flags of someone that doesn't want you to grow versus someone that wants you to stay the same and just be who you were when you met. And that's not what life is about to me. Life is about growing to me. So I'm really happy that I decided to take that step. So after I started exercising, I wasn't really seeing results because I was a vegetarian, and honestly I wasn't eating enough protein. So when I was 26, 27, I decided to try meat. I think I was 27. It was almost my 27th birthday. I was still single, and I was like, you know what? My body is craving some meat. So I decided to ask my mom what she made for lunch. And she ended up saying she made salmon sinigang. Now, if you know me, I love salmon. And as a Filipina, we love sinigang. As a Filipino person, sinigang is a staple. So I said, oh my gosh, it smells so good. So I heated some rice up, poured some soup or sabaw over the rice, put some salmon on top, and took my first bite. And I was like, why haven't I had this sooner? So that was my first introduction to meat. After that, I was like, let's go. I started tracking my macros myself. I plugged it on MyFitnessPal, my own macros, and I was like, all right, Casey, you're gonna track your protein, you're gonna make your own food, you're gonna meal prep, and let's do it. That was the first step to bodybuilding. And I'm so grateful for just that, just being in that 6-year journey of trying to get healthy. So when it comes to people that reach out for coaching, for fitness advice, and they say like, it's been so long, I've been trying so long, I say to them, it's okay. Your year 1 is better than my year 5. Truly and honestly. I tell people, I'll be 31 and I've been working out for almost 10 years. So take your time. This journey is a lifelong journey of health. You can do it. Just give yourself the time. I think back even 2 years ago and I'm like, wow, you surpassed all your goals. But body dysmorphia is real, I have to say. We all know that. So take your time, friends. You don't want to regret one day. Maybe you went a little too hard on yourself and you pushed too much. There are people who get injured and they never come back from it. There are people who mess up their diet and start spiraling into different things, and we don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. We can get into that part probably another time, but thank you for listening to the first video episode of the Beauty and Brains podcast. If you like this episode, please go ahead and rate and review. I'd love to hear from you. And I hope you have a great day and be your best self.